93 former civil servants, including a one-time national security advisor, a former election commissioner and a former lieutenant governor of Delhi, have written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Amit Shah, condemning the police responsible to the July 20th student march at the capital. The letter comes from the Constitutional Conduct Group, a body of retired bureaucrats who say that they hold no political affiliation. They've described themselves as, quote unquote, deeply shocked and greatly anguished by what unfolded during the after the so-called Sansad Chalo march, when tens of thousands of protesters, many of them being students, converged on central Delhi demanding the resignation of Education Minister Dharmendra Pradhan over repeated exam paper leaks. Atul continues to be with us on the broadcast. Atul, walk us through the details. Who exactly are these 93 individuals who have written to Prime Minister Narendra Modi? This, of course, letter pertains to the protest that took place on 20th July and the conduct at large.
Well, yes, there have been at times when, some eminent citizens have written letters to the government over certain issues, and we have seen counter letters as well in return. And that seems to have continued this time around as well. This year, about 93 eminent citizens, obviously most of them retired bureaucrats, they have written a letter which has been publicly shared as well. That has, commented on the July 20th Sansad Chalo March protest. And what they have said essentially is that, the conduct of the protesters is something which they have in fact questioned. That, the so-called peaceful march, the Sansad Chalo March, is something which has been hijacked by political actors, and the leadership of the CJP is something which is politically motivated, and this sort of arbitrary and unruly behavior by the mob should not be tolerated, is something which these bureaucrats and the other eminent citizens have written in the letter to the PM. Essentially, what the letter does is that it sort of tends to extend their support to the actions by the Delhi government, which was in fact criticized for crackdown on the protesters. So that is something which would go well with the government, obviously, because the government has been in fact seen firefighting these days because of the whole narrative by the protesters as well as the students who have been who have been quite critical of the government and the kind of output that we are seeing at the Jantar Mantar. The government certainly needs words and voices from across quarters that could support its stand, and that is something which has been lent by these eminent citizens group, including most of them being retired bureaucrats.
All right. Atul, thank you for sharing all those details. We're going to leave it there and shift our focus to some more breaking updates that we're tracking from the national capital. A 20-year-old man identified